And it's always back for a new week with yours truly, HRT Rich on X, and our good friend over here, Terry Hollywood. Hey, he's number one today. Look at it. Just decked out in all the horse racing today gear, looking spiffy.
That's right. See.
Indeed. Matching too. How about that? Where else can you get matching aprons like that, Terry? Nowhere. On planet Earth. You can get them over at horseracingtoday.net. On the page that says HRT merch or gear, HRT gear. So kind of go over there, support the show. And, spring's coming. Those things are a few years old, Terry, and they look great still.
Yeah, they're great. They last a long time.
Yeah, comfortable, right? Right even out of the bag that they arrive in. Comfortable right away. Well, hopefully we'll be comfortable on a fast track in Ben Salem today. Also another fast track today over in Ohio with our free picks of the day, Mahoning Valley. You can see there's a link to the description down below. Mahoning Valley opening race today coming up in just a little bit. Lots of mischief, something that we hope to have a lot of today on our show. Top pick, opening race, 12:45 p.m. Eastern. So coming up in about 45 minutes, right as we're about to come to a close. They should get about kicking. So we're going to do that, Terry. We're going to get kicking for race El Número Uno at Parx today. Tell us all about the details.
All right. This is a 6 furlong maiden claiming, $20,000 claiming price, purse $28,000 for maidens 3-year-olds.
Yes, and this is just an outstanding race, if I remember going correctly through the all of the different contenders in here. But 4-6 furlongs, the kind of horse that usually contends for the win, is a stalker. But 23% of the time they do go wire to wire. It's a pretty strong rail bonus for my brother Charlie. 2 and 3 also get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a big penalty. If you happen to wear an 8 or out, you do get a little bit of almost fair, a little bit bounce back from that inside stuff. 1,000 simulations, Terry, looking for horses that have a little bit of early speed. Also want to find our odds to be lower, our sim odds, than post-time odds. We want to get a chance of who's going to have the lead. Looks like someone here with a big chance. And then based upon our projected pace, which horses are likely to get a race that mirrors their best performances and how likely that is to be. Terry, so early on, who's going to be the tone setter in the opener?
Well, it appears to me that 4 is going to get to that quarter pole first, although that 2 and 8 may have a little bit to say about it. As far as the overlays go, that 4 has an overlay from 4 to 5 to 5 to 2. There are no par numbers in here, and the 1 and the 8 show the most or the best C numbers.
Yeah, too much red in here to really say that anything has a huge advantage over anybody else. But we can look at the race shape to see if anybody has a race pace advantage. And that 8 horse, checking boxes, Terry's favorite handicapping angle. Checking boxes, checks the boxes, and gets to the front by itself. Could be Loney, confidence grow, and watch that horse run right into the winner's circle. The 4 and the 7, those combinations are closers. So kickstartness is going to be that much sought after left arrow horse, a closer whose early speed puts it close to contention right away. The 1, 2, and 5 in their limited careers, not within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. And then the 3 and 9 going to give it a go for the first time, Terry. If the 8 can get the lead, well, he should be a part of that pace, but the 4 and 2 should keep him company right away. On the way home, late speed, if that's what wins the opener. My brother Charlie with that rail bonus, along with Rory's Orchards. They're about a length quicker than everybody else, but look like they'll be about 2 lengths to 1.5 lengths off the lead. Our top total pace horse here, Terry, is 4 kickstarting this, 5 points clear, so 1 length better than everybody else. Maybe the 4 gets up there on that early lead and just goes straight to the winner's circle. Nobody passes him. He collects the $200. What do you think?
All right. Well, I like the 1, my brother Charlie. He drops in class today. The rail post winning 27% clip. He has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 25 or 35% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like that 4 kickstart. It's his best start speed was fastest among today's starters. He has the highest last race speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. The 8 checking boxes, my 3rd pick, trucks in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Lasix is added today, and he has a good 4 furlong workout on February 15th. The long shot for me is number 3, Star Ruler. first-time starter who has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the races in date and when he has debut maiden claiming races. And then I'm going to play $1 daily double, the 1, 3, 4, and 8 with the 1, 6, and 8.
Want to say hello to Ivan Perez. He's given the muscles up to there. Sun's out, guns out with the 4-horse kickstartness. And Don Johnson, new to the show. Is this the Sonny or Crockett? I forget which one was Sonny. Which was he? Sonny or Crockett? Don Johnson.
He was Sonny, I think.
Was he Sonny?
I think
yeah,
so.
Sonny. Yes. Is it the real Sonny? That's so. Welcome to the show, my man. And if you're not, welcome to the show anyway, right? I like the 4-horse in here. Kickstartness, going to be your pace setter, Terry. Has that 1 length total pace advantage over everybody else. Coming in from Laurel Park. So a little bit of a track drop for the dynamic duo of Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera at Parx. They win all the time. My brother Charlie, the 1-horse, gets that strong rail advantage. Trainer wins at about 35%, dropping multiple classes. This horse has 4 workouts, prepping for its first race since November. Number 8, checking boxes. Another one that's moving down the class board, a couple of classes. Has some early speed. I like that, as we see here. Going to team that up with first-time Lasix in that strong C-zone. So if that one gets out to the lead with that Lasix, look out. Robbie not going to give it up. And then like you, Terry, I went with the first-time starter, start ruler. Really not a lot to beat in this field, including any of the top picks. You have to consider this one with trainer Claudio Gonzalez winning at 22% of the time. It's a good number for maiden claiming debuters. I'm going to do $1 trifecta box to start the day over the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 8. Right up, I want to say thank you to Tony Schofer and Philip Perkins for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you agree with them, give us a thumbs up on all the social sites. You can see them scrolling down there below. Follow us. Retweets. I don't know what you do on any of the others, but share our content. We greatly appreciate that. We'll share what's happening in the opener right now as the 8-horse has indeed bolted out to the lead there, Mr. Terry. That first-time Lasix could kick in as they come around the corner there. The 2-horse Wrigley Reserve has snuck its way into second place, really making the 4-horse work for the second spot in there. The 4, Kickstartness, is in he's put his nose ahead. Opening quarter 22-3. Interestingly, that 8-horse went from 3-1 to 2-1 going through the opening turn there. The 4-horse has moved up past the 2-horse, so the 2-horse is going to have some more work to do in there. The 1-horse is coming pretty aggressively now. The 8-horse continues to set the tone. I think this is the part of the race where the Lasix kicks in. Looks like the 5-horse back there trying to get involved. Question is, does the 1-horse go by the 2 at that opening trifecta with the 3 favorites? I'm afraid that 5-horse in the pink, but the jockey's really struggling to get that one to get to switch leads. He's yanking on it, pulling on it. Looks like the 5 finally did change leads. Going to run by the 2. This race looks like it's going to go 8, 1, and 4 in the opener, Terry. 8, 1, 4, and then the 2-horse held on. The 5-horse, despite switching leads, couldn't get going. That 3-horse, that first-time starter, I think he might have come in dead last. So it's a reason why they debuted that one in the maiden claiming ranks. The 8-horse on the first-time Lasix with early speed angle coming home as your first place prize winner in the opener, Terry.
Yeah, and that's better for you the way it came in for your trifecta.
Yeah, well, he's got the trifecta here too. 4178 for the trifecta box for Rich Lane. So if like Rich Lane and Ivan Perez, you have some picks today at Parx or Mahoning Valley. Again, that's the free track, a guaranteed tip sheet. There's a link in the description below. I think the other track running today is Turf Paradise, or if you have any picks overseas, anywhere, let us know about them in the comments section. We greatly appreciate all the input. You ready to do race 2, Terry?
Yeah, let's go on with race 2 at 6 furlong. Maiden claiming 20. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong race. It's a mile and 70 yards. And it's,
well, the horses are probably wishing they were running 6 furlongs.
Yeah, it's a $7,500 claiming race. First 21,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Indeed. So a mile and 70 yards. I think we got a few of them back to back. Early speed does do pretty well. 40 out of 100 times they go straight to the winner's circle. There's a bit of a rail penalty, so double O auto. That one could maybe not run up to its odds of 3-1. 2 and 3 get a little bit of bonus. 4 and 7 a penalty. 8 and out is the best place to be, Terry. So either be fast on the inside or be fast on the outside. And it looks like the speed is on the outside, but not totally on the outside.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of them have speed here, but that 7's got the most speed, as you can see, according to our data. The 2 has a small overlay from 5.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. And the 7 has a nice overlay from about 3 to 5 to 7 to 2. The 7 also has the only par number in here, and the 6, 5, and 4 have the best C-zone numbers.
So in case you're new, and we didn't really talk about this in the last start there, the par plus number, basically a 25% chance that Marvelous Moondance runs a speed figure above par, which is 77 for this race. And in the claiming ranks, I'm reading a book from James Quinn. One of the things you really want to pay attention to are horses that can come close to that par number. And the claiming you're looking for on sprints, somewhere within 5 points of that number. And then on routes, in this case, somewhere within 4. Those horses tend to be the ones that collect the most money. So keep that in mind when you're handicapping claiming ranks. As far as our race shape is concerned for race number 2, just go back to race number 1, Terry. We had the 8 as the lone. He got that lead and just never gave it up, right?
That's right.
You see that happen a lot. So in race number 2, we don't have any such advantage. Half the field wants to be middle forward. Half the field wants to be towards the back. I do think you'll see the speed bias play through. Marvelous Moondance and Nieuwendyk, a hockey player, Joey Nieuwendyk, I remember that. Those two are about a length quicker than everybody else. 2 lengths actually quicker than the rest of the field. So they should be out there setting the tone. I would imagine the 6 is going to set the tone with the 7 sitting shotgun because of their running styles. Bluey and Bowen the back, those 2 will be coming about 2 lengths quicker than everybody else. So the question is, can the 2 and the 3 catch the 6 and the 7? That's the way that race looks like on paper. Looks like the 3 does have a little bit more total pace than the Marvelous Moondance. Those are both more than a length than everybody else. So the question is, do you like the speed or you like the closer, Terry? And you like neither.
I like a closer. I like this little long shot. The 8 last dream. He likes Park Racing, finishing in the money 70% of the races, winning 10% of those starts, and the distance won't be a problem as he's finished in the money 50% of the races, winning 17% of the starts. Then I like that 1 Double O Otto. He ran second versus similar in his last race, and his early running style will help his chances. The 6 is my third choice, comes in from Penn National after finishing second in his last race to try Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating. And then number 5 is my long shot. Tequila Made Me Do It. Finished third versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet a 50-cent pick 4, 168 with the 456 with the 68, and finish up with the 28.
I might not have Tequila Made Me Do It in my picks, but Tequila made me do it, and that was quit drinking. Indeed, it's the culprit for that. Thankfully, I guess, right? I'm going to go with that 7 horse in there, Marvelous Moondance. It doesn't look like it, perhaps, when you're going through the paperwork, but the horse has a really good chance to be the pace setter in here and strong par plus. If it gets the lead, I think much like the 8, may not give it up, Terry, and hopefully doesn't blow up your pick 4 in the first leg. The 8 horse Last Dream, as you mentioned, Terry, this guy does like himself some Parx. 7 out of 10 in the money at Parx. In the distance, half the time as well. Trainer Frank Polera doesn't really enter many at Parx. So far, only 9 horses, but 4 of them won. So that's a pretty big hit. So it looks like he's pretty solid at placing his horses in the Ben Salem track. Number 1, Double O Otto, third call, does have a little bit of early speed, showed some extra late speed in his last effort. Combine the 2, and maybe the horse will be better in his second start after a layoff. And then Bluey, the 3 horse, that one, top total pace horse, and they're winning at about 31%, folks. So that's a big clip for the top total pace horse. It is a closer in here, and it's also one, Terry, that should benefit from running longer than it did last time out. No bets for me in race number 2. Let's take a step forward to race number 3.
All right, let's do that. It's a mile and 70 yards again. It's an optional claiming race for $16,000 claiming price if you enter your horse to be claimed. Purse is $25,000 for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $16,000, and which have never won 2 races.
That's in case you didn't catch it the first time. I had to tell
Yeah.
you a second time. But interestingly here, there, Terry, you see, as we mentioned many times, if you're new to the show, you'll see here there's not a 16,000 in here, meaning you cannot claim this horse in here. So you would see that number. And is anybody in here for a claim, Terry? Doesn't look like any of them are in here. For here, only the 7 horse. So if you wanted to buy one, you could buy La La Lucy at 20-1 odds. Probably not going to be a handshake on that one at the end, Terry, to see who gets it, right?
That's right.
So looking at a mile and 70 yards, again, 40% go wire to wire. You're looking for some inside speed, or you're looking for some outside speed in race number 3, Terry. And looks like the speed is in the middle of the track this time.
It is. That number 4 has the most speed, although everybody else except for the 1 and the 7 shows a little bit of speed. The 1 has an overlay from 3-1 to 5-1. 2 has an overlay from about 8-5 to 6-1. And the 4 has a very small overlay from about just over 2-1 to 5-2. None of the horses have any par numbers, and all but the 3 and 7 show pretty decent C zones.
And none of them par plus. So if they're non-par plus, you probably should look for inexperienced horses with some upside to them. The 7 so far, La La Lucy, the one that's in for a claim. You see why. Hasn't finished within 5 lengths of a winner yet. So they're hoping somebody out there has the magical formula to get that one going. Everybody wants to be middle back. In this scenario, you get to the front, you probably have a really good shot to win. A year to remember, and the Archer or the Prey, those two a little bit quicker than everybody else, but except for the 1 and the 7, they're all pretty tightly mixed in there, but those two should be the ones that set the tone early. Also looks like those two have the best late speed, so you might not be able to pass what you can't catch. Wouldn't it be shocking to see the 6-4 in this scenario run all the way around the track 1-2 and see who wins at the very end? They are 12 points and 16 points higher than the next group in here, Terry. According to the pace, this should be 6-4 and nothing else.
Yeah,
the rest are battling for third. You have a different take in the second spot.
Yeah, I do. I like the 4 as my first place. A year to remember. She ran second versus similar last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Fancy Scepter, the 5, is my second choice. Finished in the money in 8 out of 12 starts at Parx Racing, so likes this track. Looks for her first win, though, on the dirt, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Then number 6, the Archer or the Prey.
Or the Prey, yes.
Yeah, or the Prey. She's my third pick. She finished in the money in 2 out of the last 3 races, and she won one of those starts. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route. The long shot for me is Civil Notion, number 2. Switches a high percentage winning jockey. Her early speed running style helps her chances, and she has the highest speed figure at today's distance. No bet for me in this race.
Well, number 4 in here. Yeah, well, I have the 6 horse first, so we'll start there. The Archer or the Prey. Last time out, the horse, all of its race internals, the early pace, the middle of the race, the end of the race, all improved from the prior start. Does have the most late speed in here, and there's another one today with a little extra distance. That extra runway should be enough to help it get to the finish line. Now, a worse second. A year to remember, this one ran the top last race speed figure, 4 points clear of everybody else. That was at this level, and another one whose internals were improved from start to finish. Royal Party, the 1 horse, is a simulation overlay. Terry, the 3rd out of 3, where every single number internally was better from gate to wire. And then finally, the 2 horse, Civil Notion. That is your sim favorite in there, Terry. Running at the proper distance for this horse, 6 times out, 1 win, 3/3. So it doesn't really like to win, but this is one that at any other distance has kind of struggled. She does have some early speed, and definitely one after running a couple in the mud. It's going to be happy to see a fast, firm surface. I think the 4 and the 6 have too much an advantage over the rest of this field, Terry, according to pace. I'm going to box them up for an exact 10 times, Terry. That's what I'm going to do.
All right.
Race number 4 is next on our list. And it's going to be a little different distance this time around.
It is shortening up to 7 furlongs. It's a $10,000 claiming race. First 26,000. Fillies and mares, 4 year olds and upward, which have not won a race since November 26th. Claiming races for 8,000 or less are not considered, and which have never won 4 races.
So you got multi-winners here. Should be a competitive spot in race number 4. At 7 furlongs, this type of horse that gets the job done are stalkers. Not that many, only 13%. So probably right about on par. Go wire to wire, so no speed bias there. The rail is fair, so decoupage should get an okay trip. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 and 7, a small penalty. Again, we're seeing that trend play out closer to the rail. All right, middle of the track, not so good. On the outside of the track, an even bigger penalty here at 7 furlongs, Terry. So getting into that turn looks like it's a key to winning this race. In race number 4, Terry, who's the most? Well, there's a lot of speed in here, Terry. Looks like a bunch can get the lead if they hit the gas pedal early.
Yeah, several of them show speed. Most of them at least have speed, but the 1 and the 4 may be the most prevalent. Get out of that gate together. The 1 has a small overlay, very small, from 3.5 to 1 to 4.5 to 1. And then the 8 has a nice overlay from almost 5 to 1 to 15 to 1. The 10 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 5 to 1. The 10, 1, and 8 have the best par numbers. And then C zones, the 1, 6, and 7 have the best C zones.
So 2 horses in here checking off the most boxes. And we see when you see green, 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 a lot of these horses perform very well. So the inside horse, decouplage, and the outside horse. Collins, Gray Lady. So the barbell approach to green in that. Our race pace set up for race number 4. Look what we see here again, Terry. Alone E. Everybody else wants to be middle back, although the 1, 2, and 10, they do have some in-race versatility, being PC types. They can be middle, they can be back. Sometimes these horses even go wire to wire. They're the most versatile horses in horse racing. When the gates open, if that 6 gets the lead, going to be difficult to deal with, though the 1 on the inside, as well as the 2, should give that horse a little bit of an issue getting to the front. But if he can clear, look out with that one. As far as the running home, peace, love, and karma, that's the way we should all live. About a 2-length lead over everybody else from that closing position, but could be way, way back. Might even be off the screen at the quarter-mile marker. Our top total pace horse, and we found that about 75% of the horses have a top 4 ranking that win. So there you go. The 1, the 8, the 6, and the 10, Terry, are your top 4. I think those are actually my bets, almost in that order on my picks. You don't have the 1, though.
No, I don't, but I do have the 6, Fairy Dreams, as my top pick. She finished in the money in her last 5 starts at Parx Racing. Ran second versus similar in her last race. She's trained by that really good trainer, Scott Lake. And then number 8, Back to the Future, is my second choice. She finished in the money in 6 out of the last 7 races. She won 3 of those starts, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I like the 7, Lean on Me, on E. She likes
When you're not strong. I'm going to
She-
try out for America's Got Talent one day.
All right.
I would rather do the Gong Show. I would have loved to do the Gong Show, to go out there and get gonged. I think that would have been fantastic. But unfortunately, their show doesn't exist anymore. Maybe we should find a producer, someone who watches our show that has money. We can go back and do the Gong Show, Terry.
Could be fun, huh?
It would be
Anyway.
a blast.
She likes this one likes Parx Racing, finishing the money 61% of the races, winning 25% of the starts. The distance won't be a problem as she's finished in the money in 50% of her races and won 17% of those starts. And then my long shot is number 2, Old Head. She always seems to be in the mix and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I did have the 1 as my first alternate. I like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had an idea. I was about to go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to play the 6-8 with the 2-8 with the 1-6-8, and I'm going to single the 8 in the 7th.
Maybe we should both get a gong and put it in the background.
Yeah.
So when one of us makes a pick that we totally disagree with, or if someone makes a pick in the comments we totally disagree with, gong it. You know what I mean? And then get like that thing and pull them off the screen. That would be awesome. But I'm not interested in being a CIA agent, because I understand, if I read that the gentleman who ran that show was in that. Abstruse Allen, all the way from England, letting us know that he would gong us on this race, Terry, because he says the 3 horse beat the 6 last time and thinks the longer stamina test suits it better as well. If you haven't done so, kindly follow us on our social sites below. They say only 1 out of 10 people hit the subscribe button. Our goal is to get to 10,000 this year. Help us get there. Share our content. If you haven't done it already, be like the 10%ers. Subscribe. Don't be a 90% loser. Be a 10% winner. I like the one horse there, Terry, as my top selection. Decuppage did run the top last race, speed figure. And again, in Andrew Byer's book, he said anytime it's 3 points clear, the next pay special attention to those horses. 6 points is double that. I especially like horses that ran faster fractions last time out. This one did also accomplish that. And this one is one of those horses, Terry, that tends to run good races back to back. Fairy Dreams, the 6 horse, the one that it's not liked overseas, just missed it this level in her last. I feel is going to be better in the second start after a layoff and could be your lone E. Collins Gray Lady, lots of green boxes in the simulation. Going to go a little bit longer today. I think that will be helpful. And finally, Back to the Future is the overlay, Terry. 3 really good workouts prepping for this start spot. In the money, 11 out of 15 at Parx. First off the claim, trainer Carlos Caban wins a quarter of those races. That's a pretty good number there, Terry.
It is.
So we still have a little while before race number 2 gets started. So let's move to the middle part of the card, starting in race number 5.
All right. Race number 5 is a 7 furlonger. It's a maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price per $26,000 for maidens 4-year-olds and up.
Yes, wide open affair in this regard. 7 furlongs, as we mentioned, does tend to favor stalkers. Speed's not a deal maker or deal breaker, wins at a proper amount. The rail's fair for Dream Within a Dream or the movie Inception. Did you see that movie, Terry, Inception?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good movie, I thought.
It was.
2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a small penalty. 8 and out, they really get dinged. Terry, so some inside speed in this maiden claiming might be the way to the winner's circle. But all of it is on the outside with the exception of the 2.
That's right. There's a lot of speed in here, but that 2 has the most speed. And then, of course, 9, 10, and 8 are next. And then the 2 has an overlay of from 8 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 7 has an overlay from about almost, 2.5 to 1, a little bit more than that to 8 to 1. The 1, 7, and 9 show par numbers. And all but the 3 and 6 have some kind of a C number. C.
Yeah, the lone green box getter is Chasing Stardom, the 2 horse. Looks like both of it reserved by Terry and I there. In the 5th race, well, you do have one that doesn't look like any of the others in here in that 5 horse. Pacific States, a Sesame Street horse. Other than that, it's a good balance between those who want to be up in the front, those who want to be in the back. The 8 and the 10 so far haven't been able to sniff the winner's circle. Early on, when the race gets going and the gates start opening and the dirt starts flying, you got a lot of competition here, Terry. So it should be a pretty hot early pace in here. Should set up a horse that does stalk, just like the bias says, with a little bit of late speed. Whoosh! The Nike Swoop does have the most late speed, but it's going to be kind of far off the pace here, Terry. Going to have to really work to get front. Looks like cracking the code and Chasing Stardom. The 2 front runners might be best positioned for that. They also have the best late speed in there, Terry. 6 points clear of everybody else. Again, a length. This race goes according to total pace. The 2 and 7 could be a nice, cheap, exact box. What do you think?
Well, I like that too, Chasing Stardom. He ran the second versus similar in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Our Rooster, the 8's my second choice, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, and he had a very slow start in that race and very wide throughout the race. So he has an excuse for his finish last time. Number 5, Pacific States is my 3rd pick, switches to high percentage winning jockey. Should improve while returning to the dirt. And he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 32% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse entered in. Social Acceptance, the 9 is my 3rd or my long shot. Drops in class today and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. No bet in this race for me.
Going back a race, Scary Creation says the problem he has with number 1 Decuppage is he loses the Ness juice, claimed by a trainer winning 4%, may regress from that big figure. Yeah, maybe he has hopefully a little residual good hay in him or her. I think the 2 horse in here, Terry, Chasing Stardom is your top par plus horse. You got all these green boxes. I just seen too many times those horses win. And last time out, he has a couple races back, has the back class that's more than enough needed to win here. One horse in here too, I think that another one checking off a lot of green boxes, needs to be moved up in your rankings, social acceptance, because it's the only maiden special weight dropper in the field, and it does have the most back class. So if it can find that back class on the biggest class drop there is in horse racing, could make easy work of this field, does have a decent workout between races, so should be ready. Our Rooster, the 8 horse, next up, and for me, maybe the most untapped potential as the most lightly raced horse, improved in his second career start, and has a maintenance workout that should continue to help it move forward in its third race. Then finally, the 7, Crack the Code, does have a chance to be forward, showed a lot of improvement in its late speed last time out. So if you can connect the early speed and the late speed, could maybe hang on for the win at the end, Terry. No bets for me there. Hello, Ross Tabert. No bet for every race for me. You're staying off the board today to get me. It is. I have to agree with you. When going through it, was a pretty interesting card where I felt like there were some places you could take shots and on other places. And even on the opener, I bet 24 and I got back 18. That's not a winning bet, right? But at least it's not, it's not crumble it up and Michael Jordan it into the garbage can.
Yep.
So if you haven't done so yet, again, kindly hit the subscribe button as we try to kill a little bit of time before race number 2 gets started. Free track again today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Of the link down in the description below is Mahoning Valley. Kindly click on that. We'd greatly appreciate it. Let's see what we got here. The host of the show kind of looks like one of the drivers from Yonkers race, but I could be wrong. Who's that? Which one of us? I haven't ridden a horse at Yonkers ever. Derry, have you?
No.
I've ridden one horse in my life, and I've told that story before, and I won't ride another one. I went to Cincinnati. We went to a horse farm out there, and the guy was, they had like little classes. You're walking the horse inside that big barn, and you're getting to walk up, and you're leaning on him, and you're squeezing him, and you're pulling the reins, and you're doing all those things. Well, it put me on like a horse that didn't want anybody riding, and particularly old men. And he had his eyes on a filly that was training up on the hill, but there was a lake between the filly and the hill. And he kept leaving the barn with me on him, and he would kind of like charge up to the fence. Like he wanted to jump the fence and get into that pond and swim up the hill. I got him. They put him back in. And one time he just came out full of determination, man. And I think he was going to jump the fence with me on the back. No care for me up there whatsoever at all. Fortunately, a hand there caught the reins right before he launched. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do? Never again. Pacific Stakes strap, a big deal. Pacific States track drop. From which horse are you talking about? And then Kaisi, here's Parx Racing Monday. There you go. His picks. Follow him over there on Facebook. Which one are we talking about here? Pacific. And this one here. Oh, Pacific. Oh, yeah, that is a track drop in there, too, coming out of that. Didn't really done very well. But, yeah, definitely Turf Paradise. Turfway Park, Churchill Downs, Santa Anita. Kind of surprised, Terry, you didn't make your list of picks coming from the West Coast there.
Well, it's been here for a while, since November, and ran a couple at Churchill Downs and one at Turfway Park, but and didn't do too well, although that is a track drop.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen a good workout. I mean, everyone at Parx has been the worst of them, so maybe not a fan of the surface there. I know, talking to a lot of jockeys who race there, they have mentioned that it's not the favorite for some horses. It's an interesting track. All right, so race number 2 is off and running, Terry. Right now, they've gone through the opening turn, and you have the 4 horse on the lead, interestingly there. But we did say McMagic had a small chance in a race that would be in there. The 6 horse, Joey Newendike, sitting in the co-pilot position, down on the rail. Double O Auto in third. And to the outside is the 3 horse, Bluey, the closer. 7 horse in there, Marvelous Moondance, all the way in the back of the pack, Terry. I think when you're expecting early speed and you don't get it, it can be very worrisome. Let's see if that's a change in race tactics, according to the trainer. 4 horse continues to set the tone, although the 6 horse is right there, about to make its move, Terry. The 3 horse, the closer, the jockey is asking for that horse to get involved, but he's not, Terry, not yet. The 6 horse still looks like he has a little bit of horse left on him. He's looks like he's the one that's probably going to find its way to the winner's circle, Terry. Although 3-horse might give him a run for his money down the stretch, as the jockey finally got that horse to switch up. The 4 and the 6 continue to battle it out. The 3-horse is trying to come. I don't know that he's going to get there, Terry. The 6 is starting to extend, so it looks like you're pretty good on your pick 4, unless somebody comes flying out of nowhere. The 4-horse just really disturbed the 3 path, Terry. So I guess the 4 jockey and the 6 jockey have some money together on this race because he completely broke the 3's momentum. It's going to go 6, 4, and then 1, Terry. 6, 4, and 1 in race number 2. Joey Newendike taking home the trophy in the second start there, Terry. How do you like that?
That's good. I got my double to start with too. So
can bite, and you didn't want to be I wanted to be a hot walker one time, but found horses can bite, and I decided I didn't want that. I could see that for sure. Look at this, Rich Lane coming out the 6-7 to track back to 2-6-7, and then 5-6-7-8. How did it go again, Terry?
It went 6. I know that. 6,
I think the 4 screwed
6,
that
4,
up, right?
6, 4, 3 probably.
All the way from Australia. What time is it over there, Brandon? It's got to be like early in the morning, no, or late, whichever way you look at it.
Yeah. I loved when I was in Australia. I loved the racetracks there and the betting and all that. It was really fun. The 1 ran 3rd. So,
but I don't, there's some really, if you're like a history buff in Australia, a lot of those tracks down there shut down in World War II and hosted basically there were camps, bases for the American soldiers and Allied soldiers. So there's a lot of, along with the great horse racing history, there's a lot of great world history, particularly as it pertains to World War II, on a lot of those Australian tracks. So it's kind of interesting reads when you read about them.
It is, yeah,
a lot of stuff that it's history is interesting, Terry. That's for sure. My history in race number 2 wasn't interesting for me. So let's go to a race that might be a bit more interesting. Race 6.
All right, in this race 6, we've got a 6.5 furlong race, a claiming $5,000 claiming price for 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won 2 races since August 26th. And there you go.
And at 6.5 furlongs in Bensalem, PA. Early speed wins 29% of the time. The horse that gets to the lead stays on the lead and doesn't give it up. A rail bonus for our good time Charlie, who will join me Wednesday for Gulfstream Park. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 7 a discount. 8 and out is fair as well, Terry. So once again, we're looking for speed in race number 6 to carry the day.
Yeah, well, that 11 has the most speed in there, and then the 8. The 8 has some speed. Also, the 1 and the 3. So we'll give a little bit to that 9 too. So anyway, the 8 shows an overlay of 2-1 to 4-1, and 5, 6, and 8 have actually 5 is scratched. So we've got 6 and 8 have the par numbers, only par numbers in there. All of them show pretty decent C-zone numbers, except for that 6.
And then our pace handicapping, pretty balanced race in here, Terry. Again, a Sesame Street horse in here. One a little bit more versatility in the forward placing of the race in Petulant Delight. The 2 and the 7, JW's Third Mischief, and Hibachi, also a little bit of versatility in their running styles. Horses that want to be on the lead, we see that I have it upside down. Taco Bean, all the way on the outside. It's going to have to work to hustle because a lot of speed to its inside. You can get the lead. Look out. Number 9, Haney Boy. So a lot of that speed on the outside. These 3 horses, probably going to make it tough for the 2 outside horses to get to the front. Late speed, Steely Danza should be close to the front, Terry. Has about a length lead over everybody else coming down the stretch. That should make it your top total pace horse. 4 points clear of Petulant Delight. 7 points clear of Our Good Time Charlie. You got right here a whole bunch of them, about a handful of them, a little more than that, a half dozen. Within 9 points, a bad step, a wide trip, something like that, between being first or maybe being 6th. Terry, who do you think's first?
I like the 6, Petulant Delight. He won 2 out of the last 3 races, drops in class today as a jockey and trainer who in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 2 races. And I like 8, Steely Danza. He likes park racing, finishing in the money 72% of the time, winning 27% of those starts. The distance won't be a problem for him as he's finished in the money 100% of the races, winning 33% of the starts. And then the 1R Good Time Charlie, my third pick, won his last race at Parx Racing, and the route post is winning 24% clip. Number 7, Hibachi. He has a high percentage winning trainer, and jockey is my long shot. No bet in this race for me.
I am going to start this one with the 8-horse. Steely Danza. Terry, actually going to be here in Chicago in a couple of days with the Eagles. Really love to go to that show, but they want like $500 a ticket.
Ooh.
So if anybody knows anybody that can get me a ticket here in Chicago to see the Eagles and Steely Dan, I would greatly appreciate your generosity. Anyway, Steely Danza, first up record coming off the bench is really pretty good. Would have liked to seen a few more workouts, but the horse does fire well at the distance 3 times out and win a couple of seconds. And then the trainer in this spot, it's 34% winner dropping off the claim. And it's not a bad thing at Parx because most of the time they have, so you see the 8-horse, let's go down here. So the purse here is $18,000, right? Mm-hmm. So the winner is going to get 60% of that. And then if you look at the 8-horse was claimed for 10 grand. So even if the horse wins today and gets claimed, they'll come out of this all right. As far as the rest of my picks, the 6-horse Petulant Delight making the third start after a layoff, Terry. The last 2 times this horse ran at this level, it won. And the last time it made it to a 3-race cycle, it won. Our Good Time Charlie, the 1-horse, strong rail. That should boost its chances in here. It is the most consistent performer, at least probably the most consistent performer in the field. And at a distance where it's been in the money 100% of the time with a win, a couple of seconds and a couple of thirds. And then Taco Bean, I love when we see this combination. Really strong chance to get to the front. Strong C-zone if he gets to the lead, much like we saw with that 8-horse in the opener. Confidence grows. Good chance to go wire to wire. I'm going to do $1 trifecta. I'm going to key the 8 over the 1, 6, 11. And then I'm also going to put the 8 in the second place with the same 3 horses on the outside of it, sandwiching it. I kind of don't like doing that because one of them is a guaranteed loser, Terry, but I feel like that 8-horse has a really good shot of finishing first or second. So maybe a win place bet too would make sense on the 8-horse.
You have money.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll stick with what I have. I'll stay where I'm at, Terry. Race number 7, the beginning leg of the late pick 4 in this 10-race card, going back to the 1 and 70-yard distance.
Yes, it is, and it's a $10,000 claiming race. Purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since November 26th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less were not considered, and which have never won 4 races.
As we've mentioned before, at 1 and 70 yards, the winners tend to be on the lead 40% of the time. They take the trophy and the big check without seeing the backside of another horse. Kind of a big penalty for the rail there, shiny slam. So be a little bit careful about that one. 2 and 3 get a bit of a bonus. 4 and 7 again a penalty, so a little bit of accordion effect. The best place to be in this 1 and 70 yards is on the outside, 8 and out, Terry. Plenty of them out there. So what do you see as far as early speed is concerned?
Well, that 9 shows some speed. There's not a lot of speed in here, but the 9 shows the most speed. The 8 has an overlay of from like 6 to 5 to 5 to 1, which is pretty nice. And the 10 has an overlay from almost 5 to 1 to 10 to 1, so it's double. 8, 9, and 10 show the only par numbers, and all of them but the 3 have pretty decent C-zone numbers.
Yeah, and the par numbers here, for example, the Fast Mule, I don't know any fast mules, we'll find out in this one here, but it has a 26% chance to run a speed figure, according to our 10,000 simulations, of at least 81. So a good opportunity for this horse to perhaps score a W. Our race shape, looks like most of them, Terry, want to be middle back, could open the door for horses that get to the front to have an advantage over the rest of the field. Summary judgment. Looks like it is the quickest out of the gate, Terry, a little bit more than a length faster than everybody else, and really not a lot of speed on the inside. So the 9 should have an opportunity to clear because the 8's right to its inside. So it should have a good chance, Terry, to be your pace setter early on at a distance where 40% go wire to wire. Ooh, Sala Gudula, there we go, along with Miss Chamita. They're a little bit quicker than everybody else, but not a huge advantage over the rest of the field. And they're going to be at least 2-3 lengths off the pace, so they might have to scoot up a little bit closer when the race gets started. So again, looking like a pretty competitive race here, Terry, although Fast Mule, with some of the scratches in this race, does become the dominant top total pace horse. A little bit more, about a length and a quarter, length and a head better than everybody else. We both think that's the one to beat.
I do. It's my pick of the day here at Parx Racing. Number 8, Fast Mule, finished in the money in her last 5 starts and winning 2 of those starts, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then that 3 is my second choice. She ran second versus
Come on, your turn to try to pronounce it.
Slagalagula. Anyway, she ran second versus similar to last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Summary Judgment, the 9's my third pick. She won her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Lulu's Dancer is my long shot. She finished third in her last shot race and has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 3-8 with the 4-5 with the 1-4-5-6 with the 1-6-8-10. I'm going to bet $12 to win and $20 to place on number 8.
I didn't even know you did that, Terry, and I talked about the win place bet on that one. I like the at least I think that I did. I don't even remember anyway. Fast Mule, that was the last race I talked about. Fast Mule is your top par plus horse near Terry in a pretty big way relative to the rest of the field in here. And this horse has run this distance 3 times and just the length away from winning all 3 of them. So clearly the lengthening out working to the advantage of a Fast Mule. Does that mean a slow horse? I don't know. Have you ever seen a Fast Mule?
Yeah. Black Ruby.
Summary Judgment. This horse, Terry, the 9 horse, is all over the place on the track. Its best race, won by 12. Its worst race, lost by 43. Depending upon which one we get today could be a big difference in this one. But I do like the fact that last time out, the horse ran at 1 mile and 16th. Its fractions were actually faster than the prior start at 1 mile and 70 yards. Faster fractions, cutting back in distance should be a benefit for the anywhere on the track horse. Yeah, Salagadula. The back class is absolutely there. This horse did run at this level last time out, did experience a little bit of problems early on. And if it doesn't experience those problems, it might have actually won that race. So we'll see if it can get it done in the second one. Hopefully it's not one of those trouble horses that seeks in race issues. Tomer, the 10 horse, just missed in its last outing. And it's rising class after putting together a Z pattern. So early pace here, a little bit of a lull in the middle of the race, found its second win. And despite having a Z pattern, you don't see this very often with Z patterns, where all of the race internals were better from start to finish. No bet for me in race number 7. Good luck with your bet of the day and your pick 4 there, Terry. 3 races to go. That means we step forward 1 to number 8.
That's right. It's another 6.5 furlong, a maiden $50,000 race with a purse of $50,000 for maidens 3-year-olds.
Yeah, and really a lot of these horses making a couple first-time starters, a couple horses in there making their second start. So the data is kind of a little bit iffy. But overall, we know from a lot more races that early speed does win 29% of the time. It takes the lead and runs straight into the winner's circle to take its photo. Rail bonus for Big Earn McCracken. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 7 a discount. 8 and out is again fair. Again, Terry, data is really not a big data set in here. It does look like 2 of them, though, from the limited numbers we have, should be your front runners.
That's right. That 2 and that 5 could just go head and head all the way to the quarter pole. Mm-hmm. The 5 has a nice overlay of like 4 to 5 to 5 to 2, and the 8 has an overlay of 3 to 1 to 5 to 1. None of them show any par numbers, and 2, 5, 8, and 7 have the C-zone numbers.
If speed and comfort work, this should be a battle between the 2 and the 5. Our race shape, looking at that, the 5 should be forwardly placed. The 7 and 8, they should pressure. The 4 and 6, giving it a go for the first time. And the 1, 2, and 3, they did not finish within 5 lengths of the winner in any of their efforts so far, Terry. When the gates open, the pace does say the 2 and the 7 are going to get after it. The 2 and 5, 7 should be the distant third. The 3-horse should get in the mix coming down the end, but could be, well, about 5 lengths, 6 lengths off the lead. A lot of these younger horses with early legs could tire. The 3-horse could come in there at the end there, my friend. Our top total pace horse in here, Terry, is the 5-horse. 11 points clear of everybody else. So it looks like the 5-horse is the one to beat. Terry, what do you think?
I do. I think that 5-horse is the one to beat. Ran second versus similar in his only start, just missing the win. And he has the highest last race speed rating. They added Lasix for today's race. Number 4, Sky's the Limits. My second choice is a first-time starter whose dam has 5 winners from 6 starters. And one of those was a stakes winner. The breeding suits today's distance. And he has a bullet workout on February 15th. Who knows? The 2 is my third choice. Ran 5th in his last race as a favorite, but he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. And then Addison's Dream, the 8 is my long shot. He finished in the money 50% of his starts at Parx Racing, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. No bet for me as I'm out of money.
So I'm looking at this 2-horse, Terry, and here's why I think this 2-horse is going to win. Came out, Michael Pino, pretty good trainer there at Parx. Was the betting favorite. Like to see that, right? And look right here, Terry blew up, had a 2-length lead in the stretch, and then blew a gasket. I'm going to guess that he bled right in there, Terry, and that's why he backed up. Getting this first-time Lasix today fixes that problem. The 2-horse, instead of giving up that 2-length lead, is going to carry right on into the winner's circle. That's why I put it at the top of my ticket. The 5-horse, that one, Terry, that you mentioned in there is your top choice. And, it looks like it should be right in there as well, according to all of our numbers. Just missed in its debut. A typical second race improvement should be enough to get that horse 2 par or better at this level. And that's more than enough to graduate here. Sky's No Limit, the 4-horse first-timer, trainer Robert Reed collecting a first-time winner check 25% of the time in maiden special weight debuts. Wonderful breeding for this horse as well, and the works are there to confirm. Addison's Dream, also my 4th pick, Terry, is making its 3rd start after a layoff, and it's following the same pattern as it did in its first 3 races. Came out strong, kind of took a breather in the second race, rebounded in the third. I think we'll see the rebound again here today, Terry. Maintenance work between races to keep the saw or make it sharper. I'm going to do a trifecta box 2, 4, 5, 8 for $1. And I'm going to put $12 to win on that 2. I think that Lasix is going to be a deal maker, and I hope the bettors kind of pass on him a little bit and those odds rise. 2 races to go for the late double. It's the first one. First leg of that, Terry, is race number 9.
That's right. It's a 6-furlong race. It's an optional claiming race for $25,000 claiming price. First, $26,000 for 3-year-olds, which have started for $25,000 or less, which have never won 2 races, or claiming prices of $25,000, and again, which have never won 2 races.
Well, we saw in the opener, Terry, a horse get to the lead and not give it up. That's pretty much a good way to get to the winner's circle. 23 out of 100 get to the front, stay there. Strong rail bias for Vili Narito. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7, they get squished. 8 and out almost returns to fair, Terry. So inside 3 speed could be the way to the winner's circle. There's not on the inside 3, but right on the doorstep.
That's right. That 4 has plenty of speed. Really should get there. The 1 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 3 is overlaid from about 3.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. And the 5 goes from 2 to 1 to 7 to 2. The 5 shows the only par number in here. And all but the 3 show pretty darn good C-zone numbers.
Yeah, the 4-horse in here, Terry. Look at that. Those 2 numbers there. He gets to the lead, probably doesn't give it up because he's going to be pretty comfortable, unless the 2 is the one that's pushing him. If the 2 can jump to the lead, he is the top C-zone scorer in there. In the 9th race, most people want to be middle forward or middle back. Pretty balanced in here, Terry. It could give an edge if these 6 horses get after it to a horse with some late speed. When the gates open, the dirt starts flying. Calling my name only has to clear the 2 and about a length quicker. So it should be the one that sets the tone at the beginning of the race. The one that's setting the tone at the end will be the pressure type horse. Villanito, really not going to be all that. Could be about 2.5 lengths off. Does have about a 2-length advantage over the early speed type horses. So pace will be everything for that one. Top total pace horse in the field, Terry, does belong to the 1. and Party at Sam's, that 5 horse. The speed horse right in there too. Top 4 horses again, accounting for 3/4 of your winners. Any of those going to be in the winner circle for you? Yeah, looks like the 1 horse.
That's right, Villanito, the one. Won his debut race at Parx Racing. The Rail Post is winning 27% clip. He has that high percentage winning trainer and jockey combo. 4, Calling My Name is the second choice. Ran second versus similar in his last race, winning the prayer race at Parx Racing. And he has the highest speed figure at today's last race speed figure. He's actually tied with another horse. Parties at Sam's, the number 5 finished third versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning jockey. And then that 6, Dos Dios Oros. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. He's the 6 horse. He's my long shot. No bet for me in this race.
Running Lucky's a big track dropper, number 2. He likes that one. Now those big track drops make a Jesus' Dream gets the magic juice for the first time. Now that could be useful too, right? No question about that. I'm looking at the 1 horse in here, the Villanito. I have to say, Terry, of all the races on the card, this was my least favorite because I felt like every single horse in this race, there's more reasons for it to lose than to win. Yeah. Villanito is not, I'm not the biggest fan of maiden claimer winners coming in again, but second race improvement does put him close to par for this level. So it has a lot of upside. Calling My Name. I'm not a fan of the pen shippers either, Terry, but you know that. But maybe too much early speed for the rest of these to catch. Number 6, Dos de Oro. So 2 things of gold. At Parx, its career, 6 times out, win, couple of seconds, couple of thirds. On the fast track, which is going to catch today. Never off the board. And 4 at the distance, 2 times out, 2/3. So yeah, good third place finish. Looks like a good spot. 4 workouts getting ready for the first race since January the 3rd. So the horse should be fit. Party at Sam's is the only par plus horse in the field. Small overlay. Early fractions were better last time out. Maintenance workout sense, again, not my favorite race at all. Got a few minutes to the 3rd race, Terry. So let's try to run through race number 10 as fast as we can.
All right. It's a 6.5 furlong. It's a claiming $5,000 claiming price, $18,000 purse for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since August 26th.
Speed does pretty well at the distance, Terry, winning 29% of the time. A little bit of a rail bonus for Leah Biosa. 2 and 3 play fair, 4 and 7 discount, 8 and out. They get back to fair, Terry. So inside 3 speed in the closing race could help you clean up your double, but it looks again like you're on the outside is where you're going to find the Buffalo Girls.
Yeah, that 8 has lots of speed. The 10 and the 1 show a little bit of speed. The 10 has an overlay of 2.5 to 1 to 9 to 2. There's no par numbers in here, and all but the 3 have C-zone numbers.
And the pace set up, pretty balanced race. The 3 horse in here, Oui Madame. Maybe put an X through that one, shorten up the field, but most want to be middle forward. That could open up the speed of the speed. Take Charge Erica should indeed be your front runner. Doesn't look like there's really anything here with exceptional late pace, except for maybe Rainbow Trout. Won't be that far from the lead here either, Terry, in this race. A couple of lengths off. We'll have a lot of work at the end. Our top total pace horse is Rainbow Trout. You got the 4 in here pretty close to each other again. Right here, 6, 7 horses that all have a really good shot to be within each other's, touch zone, so to speak, arm length distance. So we have our picks exactly reverse of each other. Tell me what you got.
Well, I like Vanishing Faith at 10. She likes Parx Racing. She's finished in the money 58% of the races here, winning 17% of those starts. And she likes the distance that she's finished in the money in 40% of the races. The one, Lavosa, she is on the rail, and it's running a 24% clip, and she has a high percentage winning trainer as my second choice. My third choice is Rainbow Trout. She finished in the money in 5 out of the last 6 races at Parx Racing, winning one of the races and drops in class today. Take Charge Erica's my long shot. Has an early foot, may improve in the 3rd start since her layoff, and she has the best dirt speed among today's starters. No bet for me in this race.
Take Charge Erica, I think, could have a little bit too much early speed for the rest of these. Last time out, held the speed deeper into the race, and today the trainer's taking some weight off the horse, thinking that that's the difference maker. Rainbow Trout, the 6 horse, pen shipper, yeah, not my favorite, but it's done all right at Parx. 12 times out. hitting the board in 7 of 12. Couple of wins, couple of seconds, 3/3. Leviosia, the one horse, inside speed, like that. Tie for the top Z zone. Got that rail bonus in there, Terry. Run at the distance 4 times, finished in the money in 3 of them. And then Vanishing Faith, overlay, shot at the lead, tie for the top Z zone score. So that could be enough to put that one in the winner's circle. No bets for me in that one as well. And let's rewind back to race number 3. Looks like they're struggling to get the 5 horse in the gate, but they finally do. So we got the 6 and the 7 to load before the 3rd race of the day takes off. We think the 4 horse in here, Terry, has a really good shot to get the lead. The folks on the ground think he has a really good shot to win. He's the 1-to-1 favorite. And then the next favorite is the 2 horse, Civil Notion, which is our sim favorite right there, Terry. And they're off and running. And the 4 horse did not get the lead. The 2 horse got the lead, Terry. So Civil Notion on the lead with a very strong C zone could be very difficult to run down. The 6 is going to have a really difficult trip because the 5 just pushed him up the track. He's 4 wide through the turn. Never a good place to be, Terry. The 5 horse right in there, Fancy Scepter, is in 2nd place. The 4 horse on the rail, saving a little bit of ground. So go through the opening turn with the 2 on the lead, the 4 in 2nd, the 5 in 2nd, the 4 in 3rd. The 5, the 6 is in 4th. And it's, again, 3 wide through the turn. Going to have a really tough trip. The 24 and 4 opening quarter. The 1 horse on the rail. The 3 horse way back there, Wine Goddess, and trailing everybody. The lone claimer that was 21-1. He's a 7 horse. The 2 horse in there, Civil Notion, Terry, is continuing to set the tone. Although the 4 horse, the favorite, is starting to make up a little bit of ground. The 5 horse giving way to 2nd place in the 4. Those 2 are moving the best. The 4 horse is going to get the inside on the 2. Probably going to run by that horse and have a pretty good shot of taking this one by a wide margin. The 2 horse hasn't given up yet. The 6 horse now has found his way into 4th, found his groove at the end of this race, though probably has too much ground to make up to find 2nd place unless that 2 horse really fades at the end. The jockey's getting into him, trying to get a little bit more out of the 2. He's running a little bit wobbly down the stretch. That 3 wide trip is going to cost that 6 horse in the 4 wide trip, that 5 horse bumping it out early on. A chance at the W here. He might make up enough ground, though the rails come, the finish wire is coming too fast for that one to probably get 2nd place, but he closed with a rush. But it's going to go 4-6, 4-6, folks. And there you see the trip really hurting the 6 horse's opportunity to win or finish 2nd in that race, because forced 3 wide in the opening turn, then gets pushed out 4 wide at the end of the turn with a bump. Can't win like that, Terry. So the 4 horse continues. Your pick 4, Terry. Hopefully you singled that guy in there.
Well,
had a couple horses.
I had it with one other horse, I think, or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, I had 3 horses in there.
Mm-hmm. So there you have the opening 3 races, Terry. Here are our full picks for the rest of the day. The winner in race number 1, I think, was who won the first race? The 4 horse, right?
Yeah.
And then the 2nd race, who won that one, Terry?
I think it was the 6, yeah.
Yeah. In this race, the 4 horse coming home the winner. Here are the rest of our picks for the rest of this day. Terry, you and I will be back to do Parx again tomorrow. Same time, about 5 minutes to the top, to noon Eastern time. Any final thoughts for you before we part ways today?
Yeah, just had a great weekend. My granddaughter got married, so that was really a lot of fun. And weather's been great here. It's supposed to get up close to 70 today. I hope everybody's enjoying the weather wherever they're at. It's not too bad for them. And just have a great week for the rest of the week, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, if you haven't done so, kindly follow us on our social sites. While you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so when we go live. All of our social sites are Horse Race the Number today on Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Again, the free track of the day is Mahoning Valley. There's a link in the description down below. Kindly use that so they know where it is that you're coming from. No matter what you're doing on the rest of this Money Monday, Terry, we certainly hope that you have God's grace, God's favor, and every single thing that you do on this day and every day ends up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us, Terry, and I look forward to joining you again tomorrow. Have a great day.